Well, let's bring in Mehrdad Khonsari, who is a former Iranian diplomat. Thank you very much for joining us on the NewsHour. So how important is this now for Iran and indeed the surrounding region?
Well, for Iran, it's crucial in the sense that after the recent upheavals where the legitimacy of the state in international, relations and international community was put under question, the fact that they have been able to restore ties with Saudi Arabia and make a high visit of this nature has a great deal of importance in terms of its domestic implications for the people and for the regime itself. It boosts the confidence of the regime. And of course, diffusing tensions with the Saudis, tensions that had led to even military action in the last 3 or 4 years, is something that is good for the region in the sense that everybody welcomes the reduction of tension. And for what it is, because all it is that the tensions have been reduced, but a great deal more needs to be done for relations to reach a level that that makes both sides feel confident that they can move forward in a much more positive way.
Do you think this could help each other economically in terms of this improvement of relations now?
Well, I think, first and foremost, this improvement allows for Iran and Saudi Arabia to sort of negotiate some of the differences over which they may be able to reach certain positive conclusions, like the dispute they have over areas which for gas exploration in the Persian Gulf, which has been a recent subject of news and has is a problem that has persisted for 50 years, but it has it exploded in the last 2 or 3 weeks. But apart from that, Saudi Arabia has promised to make investments in Iran, which is something that the Iranian regime needs badly. And obviously, the fact that the Saudis did not cooperate in the sense that the Americans wanted during the height of the pandemic for increasing production is something, again, that Iran wants, because Iran wants higher oil prices and needs this cooperation between Saudi Arabia and Russia in OPEC Plus to be able to benefit more. So the promise of Saudi investment, whether that transpires or not, is something that the Iranians welcome. And the Iranians tell their domestic audiences that, look, we have not changed. We did not really step back before this normalization took place. In fact, it's the failure of Saudi policy of trying to, finger us, out and act hostile towards us that forced them to reverse, given the fact that we were able to use our regional influence, particularly in Yemen, to force that situation.
And what message do you think this sends out to the West?
Well, this is a mixed message. On the one hand, people in the West are relieved that perhaps this kind of an entente between Iran and Saudi Arabia can lead to a diffusion of tensions, less attacks, less worries about attacks on ships or attacks on oil installations, things of that nature, which have happened regularly. And of course, the United States has increased its military presence in the last several weeks in the region. But on the other hand, you have to appreciate that the main aim of the West and the United States in particular has been to try and isolate Iran. Well, this is a clear failure in the sense that Saudi Arabia has not isolated Iran. The other Gulf countries have not. And this move by Iran and Saudi Arabia to normalize with the promise of investments is a direct flout against the kind of sanctions that the United States was hoping the international community would cooperate with. So it's a mixed message. The Americans are not unhappy, but they are not ecstatic about the fact that one of their closest allies, is essentially not towing the line of what they want, especially with regards to a regime which they consider to be a rogue state like the one in Iran.
OK, Mehrdad Khonsari, former Iranian diplomat, thank you very much.